FaceTime. Hang on. Okay, everybody, this is Kathy L. Murphy reporting live from Murphy's Law, my little cabin in the woods. And we're also going to be attempting to go live on Facebook at the same time. I'm trying it every which way I can. We'll see if it works. Here we go. Hang with me. It's preparing to live stream the meeting. And we are here tonight with my co-host, Robert Gwaltney. Yay! And
hey, go, Robert, go.
And our Chicago author friend, Ruthie Landis, who's come as a pom-pom. Can y'all see? Okay. We are here tonight with
a pom-pom or a really shiny mop.
It's the new kind of Swiffer.
Oh my gosh. You guys.
Swiffer.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder why we're getting the feedback.
I don't know. And I'm trying to figure out. Oh my gosh.
It's Martha's ghost. It is.
I'm closing. Oh goodness.
So maybe we don't go Facebook Live and just record.
We're not going to do it because it's causing too much trouble, and we're just going to do it this way. Let me go back. I can't even see where the Zoom thing is now to get back on the screen. This is the strangest thing. Let me see if I can get this off of there and get that off of there and get that off of there. There we go. Okay. Hey, you guys, it's working. It's working.
Rah, 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 rah.
Okay, everybody, we're starting. Thunderation. We're a team of great sensation. We can read and we can win. Fighting for literacy to the end. Yeah! Yeah! Now, we're watching and discussing the film Poms with Diane Keaton, but I was not a cheerleader. In fact, I tried out my senior year and I failed miserably because I did. You know, you're supposed to do a cartwheel or a jump, you know, some kind of big jump at the end. And all I can say is I had a wheel of misfortune. So, but my God, I can twirl. Twirl. And I wish I had my twirl because I would do that for you. But tonight we're here with Robert Gwaltney, and he is dressed all up because... And I've got my football here because it's football season. I've got my Dallas Cowboy Troy Aikman signed football. So catch it, Robert. And we've got our shaking pom-pom, and we've got Debbie here. We are thrilled to have you on board for our Book and Film Club because this is like no other.
That's for sure.
We do things a bit differently. And, you know, I'm 65 now, so I figure that I can do it any way I want to do it. Or else you guys can go, you know, watch Netflix. But right now, we're going to be talking about Diane Keaton in this brand new film. And I actually watched 2 back-to-back films with Diane Keaton. And for the life of me, I can't remember the other one right now, but it was a wonderful story set in England of a woman who loses her husband. And she's kind of lost in this, you know, beautiful, big, you know, brownstone type home. And she develops a friendship with a man who lives in the park across the street from her, who's homeless, who's Scottish, and who is about as opposite as Diane Keaton of anybody I've ever seen. It was a delightful film. So I started searching. I've loved every Diane Keaton film ever, and found Poms. It's a film, has some really cool people. And oh, here we're going to get Wandra back on. Okay, Wandra. And I don't know who this Zoom user is, but we're going to put them on, see who they are. Hello, Zoom user. Who are you? You're not on video.
I think it is Martha the ghost. I'm just telling you, we've never had this problem before. So I think that's what it is.
You know what? That's what's so fun about Saturday night. I look forward to this every week, Debbie, because since COVID, every Saturday night I watch films, and I watch them all by myself, and I don't have anybody to discuss them with. So I thought, I'm going to start a book and film club. The first 10 minutes, we had 52 people that signed up. Where are they? And then Robert jumped on board, and Robert he's a film buff too, and he has so much knowledge and he does so much research for our shows that I brought him on board as my co-host. So,
and I'm looking forward to your research on this movie.
I'm going to disappoint. This is such a film. There's really not a lot of historical information on Poms.
Really?
Well, I'll tell you what I have decided after this outfit. There is room for 2 co-hosts, and you're going to be a co-host on the show, Ruthie. Yes, you are. You're here.
Wait a minute. I am, what's your name? Kitty Carlisle, and I prefer to be Kitty Carlisle.
There's Wandra. We finally figured it out, Wandra. We feel like there's a ghost of Diane Keaton as Martha, who's been putting a few roadblocks for us, but we're on board and we're on track. And we've been discussing a lot of historical films, from The Great Gatsby to The Magnificent Ambersons. What was the third one we did that just back to back? But they were all, retro, historic films that were done. Actually, some of them a long time ago that were set even further back. So that made it even more interesting. And it was very literary, and we had lots of comparisons, and I thought we needed a break. So I've got on my UT Tyler alumni shirt, because that's the only thing I could find that was, the high school pep club uniform. It's seen better days. I don't know where it went. I probably couldn't get it on one arm. So we're here tonight, and this film starts out, and you really don't know what's happening. We know that she's moving, and she's gotten some bad news. And I'm just going, I watched another movie that she was in it from the start of. Her husband was a coach, and she was had all these kids, and they all came home for Thanksgiving, and mom had to tell them she had cancer. And I thought, oh no, it's not going to be another one of those tearjerkers again. And then the movie begins with her. She goes to this assisted living, and I'm not going to give any big things away, but she decides to leave her home and move into a gated community where she feels like she's a little bit more protected, and she has, resources. And I don't think she really knew what she got into, kind of like what I got into when I moved into this gated community. But the one thing she was told by the Southern Belle chapter of, they were a group on, in this assisted living place, is that you have to join one club, at least one club. And if you can't find a club out of the hundreds that they have, you can create your own club. So what does Diane Keaton do? She decides that she wants to start a cheerleading club. And that's where the movie begins. And if you want a good laugh, and you want to see that, life is not over for us baby boomers when we reach a certain age, we can do anything that we want to do. And I was told years ago, when I was 26, you're too old to wear pigtails. And I said, listen, my grandmother, when she turned 80, made me go outside and take a picture of her up in the peach tree. And I asked my grandmother, who I called Mudder, I said, Mud, why? And she goes, because I can. And I've thought about that my whole life. And I feel really comfortable wearing pigtails.
Well, I think it's very becoming, extremely becoming.
Well, it is what it is, but it's a nice balanced weight, because a ponytail will give you a headache. But if you put your hair in pigtails, it kind of distributes it.
I'm just thinking, she's saying it's very becoming. I'm like, said the woman wearing tinsel.
I know. And don't I have pigtails? I have my own pigtails, right?
It's a good color for you.
It's the same color you're wearing today as well.
Oh my gosh, I feel bad because I'm wearing orange and navy blue. Man, well, dang, the Screaming Patriots, that's their colors. So anyway, I have actually been to 7 colleges, y'all, and this is the only college shirt that fits me now. My first one from K-State is like a crop top, you wore with your cutoff jean shorts, and it says K-Straight. I thought that was hilarious at the time. Now it's so politically wrong. It's not even funny. But I have, I've gone to colleges in Kansas and California and Texas, and I finally got my degree in 2017. So they gave us these alumni t-shirts with our alumni mug, which I'm very proud of, my plastic cup that says UT Tyler alumni. So we're back to the movie. I don't know about you, but we have great discussion on the characters that are in this film, and there are some characters. I mean, first of all, the woman who plays the head of the Southern Belle Book Club that's in the golf cart, she has been in a zillion movies.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she's been
remember her name, but she's instantly recognizable, and so is the cop, the security.
Oh yeah.
The gated community. He's been in a million. I'll tell you what he was in that just comes to mind. Has anybody seen Elizabethtown? It was my absolutely favorite movie it's got the best soundtrack I've ever seen in my life, but he plays the funeral home owner.
Bruce McGill.
Yes, and he was just appalled because this guy goes on behalf of his mother to make the arrangements, and they tell him, well, where do what do you want to have him buried in? And they go, well, we want to have him cremated. Well, in the South, that's just like, you mean you're not going to bury him? It was just like, so you got to watch that film. That's another funny film. And he plays a marvelous character in it. I can't think of
So Celia Watson is the actress that you were just referencing.
Yeah.
She's been in Dead Man Walking.
Yep.
Counting Mr. Ripley, which is a favorite film of mine.
She's Cameron's mother in Modern Family.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
That's right. That's right.
She was
thanks, Debbie.
In the Bedroom, Hulk, The Village, which was, I think, was M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes.
Yep,
And
right.
She was in the sitcom Alice back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Waitresses.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and she does a lot of stage too. She's not just film. I want to go back to what you said, Kathy. So, it's like in literature, there's fine literature, right? Fine literature. And the same thing exists in film. And I just don't mean things that won Academy Awards. There's some very, indie films that are brilliant, amazing, things that never even came into the light. One of my favorite films is that Robert Duvall, oh God, it was called something like Angelo, my love. And he literally took no actors and he did a drama that he had a script for. A lot of it was improvised with gypsies, literally the gypsy world and the gypsy community. And none of the people were actors. And there was this little boy, I think it's Angelo, and the performances that he got out of these kids, not kids, all of it, the old gypsy grandmother and everything, and how he immersed you in that culture. And none of them were actors, right? And the
I've never seen that film.
Oh, you have to see the film.
And what's the name of it?
I think it's, if I'm remembering, it goes way back, Angelo, my love, I believe. And so I wanted to bring that up because, it's just like when you go out to dinner, sometimes you go out and you go to a fine restaurant if you're lucky. Not nowadays too much, but but God bless you. See, when you sneeze, that means the truth is being spoken. So keep sneezing. The truth is being spoken.
It's 1983 film.
It was 1983.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was. I was like, a kid. I mean, I was just like out of college, I think, when that film came out. Anyway, and here I come out of college, theater major, director, all this stuff, and then you watch this film where, again, it's like not an exquisitely constructed script. These are none of them actors, none of them. and it was one of the most moving films. So it's like you put things on your plate to eat, some fine restaurants and some, hey, I just want a hot dog.
I was gonna say,
And a hot dog,
So
right? I
Ruthie-
could go really for a hot dog, right? Hold on one second.
uh-oh,
So my,
uh-oh, Robert's coming with a zinger.
okay, but I just want to say, I know he is, but he's to wait because I just want to make this point. So even as someone who has directed and, you know, been in that world and that business, there are just times when you just want something else. And I don't mean to insult the film by saying it's a hot dog, but it isn't a fine film, but it's a moving film. It touches into
Entertaining.
something.
It's
And-
an entertaining film.
Right. And that there are just days, then that's what you're looking for, you know? And so, you know, I felt like what you were saying, that there were things about the movie that, you know, were resonant. You know, somebody who you care about is dying, you know, and is trying to find a passion that they set aside long ago in their life, and say it's not too late. It's not too late. So I think, you know, I just want to say that because we do watch a lot of fine films. We watch films that are based on fine books. Sometimes they're great adaptations, sometimes not. And in this case, I think that it's really valuable to say sometimes I want a really great hot dog. Like I really want that.
I love that.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah,
and
I
there's
do.
nothing wrong with that. It's like not at all.
I just think it reminds me of years ago. I was involved with a Bible study class where we watched the Andy Griffith Show. And it was a Bible study where we watched a show and then we discovered what scriptures were we learned from the show. It was the most popular Sunday school class I was ever in. Everybody was coming to watch Andy Griffiths. And the thing that stuck in my mind the most, which is so unchurch-like, is the very first episode. Barney and Andy smoked like fiends all the way through it. I go, just like on Bewitched, remember her drinking the martinis, pregnant with a cigarette?
Yes.
I go, the things that we remember. But the thing that I loved about this Diane Keaton movie was the relationship between these women, and then also how these women actually showed young people that there was value in, their age group as well as the young age group. And they built a bridge. This other young woman helped them build a bridge to make this connection that bullying is not good no matter who it's being turned to, whether it's, the kid that's different in school or it's older people. Because being an older person now, I have learned that, we become kind of invisible. And I'm not an invisible person. I don't care where I go. Young people come up to me and they go, I just like your style. And I go, thank you. And the reason why I have it this way is so that people like you will talk to me. Because if you have blue or pink hair, the kids love you. They just go, oh man, you're cool for being old, And I go, well, in my mind, I'm still their age, I'm still wanting to do all the things that I've always wanted to do. But somehow time has kind of taken its toll, it's just everything starts shutting down. But I love the fact that they decided to become cheerleaders. I just think that is so empowering. And all these people, and then the one woman that ended up in the wheelchair, the way her son was bullying her, and saying, you're going to do this, and just sticking her in the bed and just hoping that they'll, eventually go away. It's really sad how older people are treated. But I think our generation is changing that, because we don't look like our grandmothers. We don't
Right.
look like.
I don't look anything like my grandmother, right?
Okay, next week I want everybody to bring a picture of their grandmother so I can see if you're telling the truth, okay? I want to see photos, but Robert, what have you found out? What was your take on this film?
I mean, I feel very much like what Ruthie was saying earlier, that basically it's a drive-through window at the Long John Silver's, but it's still tasty.
You know, what is funny about my book and film club, I've got almost now up on my Kathy L. Murphy channel, I think close to 200 videos, and I get the Google Analytics. And you know, the most popular show, I'm thinking it's going to be when we had the Pat Conroy Literary Center, or, you know, a Pulitzer Prize winner. The most popular show on my YouTube channel was when I was just doing this alone, discussing my favorite go-to film when I got the blues, Man's Favorite Sport, starring Paula Prentice and Rock Hudson. It's the most hilarious film I've ever seen. And I always go to it to get, you know, this is a trying time, you guys. I'm a people person and living alone for 2 years and never getting out. It's hard. I keep myself really busy, but I really look forward to the Book and Film Club, because I've gotten to know, Robert is my co-host. I've never met him in person, but I'm telling you, when I see him, it'll just be like a family member. Ruthie, I feel exactly the same way. Wandra, you've just gotten on a little bit, getting to know you. Debbie, it's your first time. We are getting to know each other and sharing the stories. And we're not just sharing the stories of the books and the films that we're watching, we're sharing each other's lives. And for all of us that are so isolated from all this, it's what, to me, it's what brings you the greatest joy. It's not being on TV or getting on some famous blog or anything. It's really about the relationships you have with people. So,
And I want to build on that, if I may, as Kitty Carlisle, as a guest on the show.
Explain who Kitty Carlisle is to if any young person is
Well,
watching.
what show was it? What's My Line
What's
or
my
something?
line?
What's My Line? And she wasn't an official person, but she was always there as a
She's
guest.
always there with that jet black hair, and it kind of did a helmet, but it went up on one side.
Yes, it had a one side flip. And she used to be a beauty, a real beauty.
Well, she was an attractive woman.
Yes, and into her older age. But as Kitty Carlisle, so I want to just say about what you just said. So one of the things that was very interesting to me was, you know, I guess just this thing about you're never too old to bloom. And even with a diagnosis that is gonna dead duck you, I think that, like, what do they say, the prospect of death, there's nothing that motivates us more than the fact that death is nearby. And so what I felt about the Diane Keaton character was that she was really an isolated person. You didn't have a sense that she really had anybody in her life to share anything with. So here was this kind of curmudgeon-y, and, you know, independent loner who just wanted to go out with as little fuss as possible and with as little possessions as possible. And the big surprise was not only doing something kind of ridiculous, like being a cheerleader at whatever, 70, whatever years old they were, but I think it was that she found a way to make relationships. And she impacted people and they impacted her. And she would have not expected that. And that was very moving to me because, you know, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but the prospect of death made her kind of break through, you know, a way of being her whole life. And I just think when we're writers and we're writing novels or I haven't written mine now, but yet I have a lot of nonfiction. But I'm working on my first novel. But just that idea of the character arc, and that it can be a surprise, and it doesn't matter when it happens logistically in the character's life. And in her case, I mean, I think this is the last thing she would have ever expected her end to be like.
It was very life affirming to me. And I kind of, you kind of think when you get Social Security and Medicare, you start thinking about, how much longer am I going to be here? And I thought, I'm going to be here on my own terms. So I was telling Robert right before the show, I got a knock on my door from security, because the security come around, they check our, it's just like that show. And the guy's standing there and he goes, hi, he goes, did you just get up? It's like noon.
What?
It's like noon, and I've been up since 4, but I paint in my pajamas. And I thrown a robe on. I said, no, I just don't have anything to get dressed for. And he just kind of looked at me. And he said, well, we heard a gunshot. I go, oh, you heard a gunshot, and they thought maybe it came from your house. And I'm going, oh my God, they think I've killed myself or something? And I said, well, I've been watching the Pat Conroy Literary Festival today. I've been on the computer, and I did hear a loud pop, but I hear them all the time because back behind where we live, we're in a no-kill zone. There's private land, and there's people hunting all the time back there. And they go, we're pretty sure it came from this way. And I said, I assure you, the gunshot didn't come from here. But after he left and I shut the door, I thought, what in the world was somebody calling on me for? I just thought, but I said, I thanked him, because I said, I think it's really nice, because if I ever did shoot myself, it'd be nice. And somebody find me.
Yes, but don't be wearing your pajamas.
Oh, no, that's the way I want to go. I mean, why not be comfortable? Huh?
She wasn't wearing a lick of clothes, but she had these really great pigtails.
I was wearing my pajamas with a robe. I live in an all glass house, you can't walk around through here without clothes. I mean, it's just, there's nobody behind me but squirrels and deer and stuff, but you never know. I mean, he showed up on my porch. So anyway, I got totally off track of the movie, but there's a couple of points in the movie that I think is just I don't know who wrote the screenplay, but it's got some great, I loved it when they all came, she turned them in, and then they all came to her house to hide from security. And then they continued their poker game or whatever it was they were playing. She goes, just make yourself at home. She goes back into her bedroom to read her book. And I just thought that was so funny. But the poor woman that lived next door was super friendly, and she never gave up on her. And she finally, have you ever had somebody be like that in your life that just was relentless on becoming friends? No? Never? Yes.
I don't have any friends.
What? You'll make me cry like the.
We're your friends.
Sure. Debbie, what was your instance?
Good Lord, y'all are bringing me down.
I really don't, I'm a therapist, and I have all my clients, and I had my best friend Joy, who died 1.5 years ago, and I talk to her every day. And I have like one friend in Chicago. That's about all I have, really.
Well, I have you guys, because I'm in the woods all by myself, so we're in the same boat. But I'm dying to hear Debbie's story. Debbie, who was this person?
I can remember it so clearly. I was a freshman in college, and I'm walking across the campus at Princeton University, and I'm out of my depth, and I don't know anybody. And I'm this Missouri kid, and this girl makes a beeline across the quad to me, and she's 5 feet tall, and I'm 5'8", and she has black hair, and I'm blonde. And she points right at me and she says, I want to live with you next year. We are going to be best friends. And I was like, okay. And we did, and we were.
Is that really, that's kind of cool. Do you still keep in touch with her?
Yes, she lives in San Francisco now, but I just saw her a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's the coolest story ever.
Yeah, just this loudmouth New Yorker who I don't know why, but we just clicked, and she took me under her tiny little wing and really was a great friend to me.
Oh, that's great. How about you, Wandra? Did you ever have anybody do that?
Well, even as a child, I never had a problem making friends. I went to 4 different schools in 6 years of elementary school.
Wow.
And I made friends fast, and I keep them for a long time, and I know who's going to be my best friend. But I was a friend to everybody. But after school, I hung together with my competitors, the smartest kids in the class, and they were a lot more interesting than other kids. So I don't know, maybe it's it just maybe my personality. I'm not way out there extroverted, but I'm more toward extroverted person. So I'm not shy. I wouldn't go on the stage or put pom-pom on my head. I just cannot do that. But I don't
know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Pom-pom.
So I don't mind, I don't think I have a problem talking to people. Is that what you're asking?
Well, I know you don't, because Mandy Haynes called me and she said, I just got off the phone with the coolest author, or email. She was doing something and she goes, this Wandra Chang, she is delightful. She is so cute. And she told me all about you, because we've been trying to connect, and everything. You all signed up for Girlfriend Weekend and our convention, but she was telling me that you were just funny. You're just fun to be around, and nothing is more fun than laughing. And so we laugh a lot on this show, and this is unscripted. I mean, I have people go, well, it would be much more professional if you did this. I said, that's never been me. I run the book club by the seat of my skirt. I want people to have the conversation, and I don't want them to have to think about it too much. I can remember one time at a Girlfriend Weekend, I had an all-guy panel that I was moderating, and there were 8 guys on the panel. And the first author, I said to him, so the beginning of your book, you have this guy that has got his leg broken, and then he has sex with his girlfriend. Did this come from personal experience? Just lost it. All the audience in the at the Girlfriend Weekend jumped up and started applauding, and that's the way the rest of the whole panel went. And they were just go like this when I go to ask them a question. It was the most popular panel that year, because I just thought, how do you think of that stuff? The guy's got a broken leg. He has sex with his girlfriend, and you kind of, I play everything out like a movie. So I just asked him, and he was just, he couldn't even talk. He was just, and it was so funny. And then a lot of the other guys that were on there have been friends of mine for years, and they go, we just never know what you're going to say, Kathy. We never know. And I go, well, that's because I just ask the questions that I want to know. And I'm fearless when it comes to that. And I'm really a very introverted person. When it comes to books, I just get a lot of confidence. I guess because I've read so many, I don't know. But I love hearing people's personal stories. So I'm interested now. Debbie, you saw the movie. Have you seen Poms yet?
I have not, but it's so funny because to start the discussion with saying that it's the hot dog, the conversations that you guys are having about the film, I'm like, this does not sound like a hot dog.
It's really a great hot dog, okay?
Yeah, you can have a good hot dog.
Of course, I even like hot dogs that aren't that good, so I'm sure I'm gonna really like it.
I know, you just did a
Okay.
now,
This is
now
a-
Robert is more, Long John Silver's, but I'll take a hot dog.
I would never eat at Long John Silver's. I don't like fish, but I have a question for you. This is for everybody on the panel. If you were to have a hot dog, how would you like your hot dog to be cooked?
Oh, easy. I like it charred. I like a little bit of a burn on it.
Right, me too. Anybody else speak up?
On the grill, charred with the stripes.
Charred,
Yes,
Charred.
okay.
yes.
I boil it. I boil it.
Yes,
But
that's the way
unlike-
they do in
Have you
Kansas.
tried? Have you tried Costco hot dog?
Yeah, they're excellent. All
They are
beef,
good.
all beef. Now, I am talking to you and I have got gout. Now, can you imagine like Falstaff? I don't drink alcohol. I don't. And
Yeah.
it's a hereditary thing. And I got my daddy's gout. And I am in so much pain, but I am on a little tramadol right now. So, it made this easier to do. But what I wanted to say is, I think I just forgot what I wanted to say. Oh,
About
about Costco. I can't eat any hot dogs now anymore. Because once you get gout, you're
Yeah.
just sunk.
Oh,
It's kind of like diabetes. I'm not supposed to eat hot dogs either. I'm not supposed to eat anything that's fun. In fact,
I know that nothing that's fun. Nothing that's fun.
nothing that's fun.
So I think this is that point in the film Poms where they all listed their ailments.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, exactly.
So right now we're doing an inventory of our
I know.
ailments.
I know, you don't want, I
No.
couldn't be a cheerleader because of my foot. You wouldn't want to see my foot right now.
That's how you can tell how old people are, is because when they start talking about what's wrong with them,
that's right.
to a coffee shop, you do all the time. If you sit next to a group of old men,
That's right.
you're gonna hear, oh, I'm having some prostrate. I gotta run to the bathroom again. You're just going, I'm a listener when I go to restaurants. I just sit there and just listen to what, and I can't even tell you what I heard at the dollar store one time because it was so bad. I ran out of there. But
Tell us it couldn't be worse than Poms. Tell us.
yes, it was. I was standing looking for some bite itch stuff, medication in the medication aisle. I was looking for, that, there's stuff. you-
Cortisone or whatever it is. Yeah.
And this mother-daughter came in, and I'm just they're looking a little shady. Okay. So I'm kind of looking out of the corner of the eye, and she goes, well, shit. She goes, I didn't know he was going to give me crabs.
Oh, no.
Oh,
And her mother goes, well, look for it. They got something here for it. And I'm going, oh my God. And I just put the thing back on the shelf and ran out the door. I thought, oh my God, what a strange mother-daughter conversation about getting medication for crabs.
Can I say
This
something
is-
funny too about that? Is that, so there's this, so this is true for writing fiction especially, but it's true in any play or any scene. Almost everybody is unconsciously playing for some form of status. Now, there's the high status people and there's the low status people. And there's this wonderful book called Impro where he talks about just watch every scene. And it might be very subtle, but people are vying for some kind of status. And so the funniest story is, he says you can win in terms of being the best low status person. So he talks about there's two old ladies and they're sitting on a park bench, and one of them says, oh, my back, it's just killing me today. Oh, Sophie, you just can't believe it. And Sophie says, your back is killing me? Well, I've got a brain tumor. I don't know what you're complaining about. And then the other one says, yeah, well, my whole family was wiped out in the Holocaust. How about that? And,
my
they
God.
just keep, and you will see this happen a lot, especially as people get older and they're, oi, 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 oing, that is a commonality, and they kind of vie for who's got the worst situation.
I think gout's worse than diabetes. Okay. My cousin had that. It's bad. It's bad.
It's
Well, I
bad.
have to say that the nature of our conversation this week is so much different than last week when we discussed the age of innocence. Let's see, we've touched on hot dogs, Costco, crabs, Long John Silver's.
Crabs.
Crabs.
I mean, I don't even know what you do when you get crabs. I mean, what do people do? I don't.
What do you do?
Bugs. I think they are little bugs.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
lice.
I think,
It's a form of lice.
yeah.
Yeah, but how do you get rid of the little bugs down there? Ooh.
I think the same way you get rid of them on like kids' heads,
Like a little comb?
like a treatment, like
I
a.
think it's like, yeah, it's some sort of chemical.
But it could burn down there.
Well, so I worked in a drugstore. Our neighbors owned a drugstore.
Oh no, you're gonna have some good
No, well,
stories.
and when I was
I
in
want to
South
hear about
Georgia-
this.
No, I didn't. Not a whole lot to say other than I do recall having to assist individuals who would come in and would need, I forget the name of it, but it was I was a very sheltered young person, and working in the drugstore in Cairo, Georgia, was quite eye-opening.
Oh my God.
So
I can't even imagine. Come on, you got to tell a story now.
I'll think of something, I'm sure. But so the name of the drugstore was Truman's Drugs, and it was right next door to the high school. I did have this woman come in once who I couldn't understand what she was saying, and I could not figure out what it was she wanted to purchase. So finally, she got so frustrated that she she pulled her false teeth out and showed them to me, like she needed Polident.
And that's why you couldn't understand her, because her teeth were loose.
They were loose. And so I'm like looking around, can somebody help me here? I cannot understand what
Oh
this
my
lady said.
God.
Yeah, so then she just went, here you go.
Did you laugh or could you keep a straight face?
Well, I just try to remain composed as much as I
Of course,
possibly
that's this Robert we're talking about.
You can do it. I can do it too, because when I worked for Elizabeth Arden in California, I was right next to the Lancome count. We were kind of in a square, and I had one side and they had the other side. And the girl that stepped out for lunch, she was the counter manager, and a man came up and he said, can you help me? And I said, sure, what is it? And he goes, I need to get a Lancome fragrance.
She's like, well,
He said, I need to get your anus.
Need what?
what?
Your anus, your anus.
Uranus.
He just very calmly said, Anais.
Oh God, Anais.
Oh.
Fragrance, but he called it your anus, and I was just.
You want what? I beg your pardon, sir.
No, I just said, could you just spell that for me, please? This is not my line. This isn't my line. I'm Elizabeth Arden. So could you spell it? Oh, you mean this? And he goes, that's it. That's her fragrance. And I go, well, you might want to pronounce it, the correct way. And I was telling him, and he goes, oh. And he never goes, oh my God, what I just say? He just goes, oh, okay. And I was just like bringing it up, going, oh my God, he's been telling everybody that he got his wife Uranus. So those things do happen.
It's my wife's signature fragrance.
Signature fragrance. And he was telling you a little bit about where he wanted to spray it too.
Oh my.
Oh, we're slumping slow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking quietly to myself. I keep saying Edith Wharton. I'm going
to go back to I'm going to going to try to take us back down to the.
Well, so Kathy, so I have to, so one of the things that I think was great about this film was an opportunity to bring together a wonderful ensemble of more mature actresses. You know,
Yes.
you had, of course, the wonderful Diane Keaton, Jackie Weaver, who was the neighbor who had red hair.
She was
in
wonderful.
everything.
She's awesome. And so I think, you know, if you don't get anything else from tonight, check out these actresses' filmography, you know, and learn a little bit more and watch them. Rhea Perlman, it was awesome to see her.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that she was there? Oh,
She was
She was
wonderful.
great. Yeah, she was really great.
Pam Grier.
Yes, I love Pam
And,
Grier.
and of course, we talked about Celia Watson. There's an actress named Phyllis Somerville who's very interesting. You know, you want to check out her filmography.
Who? Which one was she?
Phyllis, she's the one who was in the wheelchair.
the wheelchair. She's been in so many films.
Yeah, she's an amazing actress. And then there's Patricia French, who played Phyllis, Carol Sutton, who played Ruby, and then there's an actress named Jenny McCall. And so, you know, just this wonderful ensemble of actresses that had an opportunity to come together.
Wait, no, my husband just can come here. My husband just appeared, and I told you that he was a cheerleader. And
I was really hoping that you'd give us a cheer
would
tonight.
you give us just one cheer? Just one cheer, please.
What in the world? What kind of cheer do you do it in all?
Well, we did like Go Lane Go, I remember. You know,
Well, how did it
Go
go?
Lane Go. It was a Lane Tech.
Original.
Go Lane,
know.
go,
Well, yeah,
go.
we had a whole thing. We bend over and we clap and we slowly rise up and 1, 2, 3, and we had megaphones.
Yeah, and did you jump?
I
Megaphone.
jumped
Look at, she has a Kathy has
Yeah.
a megaphone.
and we had
Is
white
that-
sweaters.
This
White
is my
sweaters
daughter's.
with gold trim.
Yeah, I took my own picture. You don't have
I
to.
just had
So what did he wear?
He wore a white sweater like you're wearing, and then
and white pants and white shoes, I think.
and
Yeah, and white
Did
t-shirt.
you have a big letter on the front of your uniform?
Yeah.
you squat down. Here you
Squat.
So I have to tell you
Yeah, so
that
we had a didn't get a letter on the sweater until we had, I think, been a cheerleader for a season or a semester or whatever it was. Then
So-
you earned a letter.
Yeah,
so I need to tell you that when he told me when we were dating that he had been a cheerleader, now that could have been a deal breaker for me because I thought it was I was a hippie girl. And that could have been a deal. And I couldn't believe that he told me that. But then I knew I must have loved him because I
She
didn't, I forgave him.
immediately.
I forgave him.
You know, I was.
And
a
so
band-
now she knows the way to his heart. She dresses up like a pom-pom.
Jeez.
You know, I was a band kid, and I am proud of being in the band because I love marching band. And so when I met Robert and he told me he was the major, you know,
Oh, boy.
I was like, okay, now we're talking because I always thought they had the coolest job ever.
So what did you do in the marching band?
I played the
Yeah.
clarinet.
You did? Do you still play it?
No, I graduated from high school, never played it again. I don't believe what I did. I wanted to play the drums. And today I was listening to my Bollywood music and I thought, why do I like this song so much? And I go, it's the drums and the bongos.
Yeah, the butt drums.
Online and I ordered bongos and a drum and I've ordered all the stuff. I'm going to teach myself how to play the drums.
Well, you can. I have drums all over my office when my clients aren't able to deal with their anger. I just pull out a drum. Come on, let's go for it.
I want to thank you guys for helping her have a lot of laughs tonight. She really feels so much better when she's laughing
I know I'm in
than
so
when
much
she's not
pain.
laughing, and it hasn't been that funny, but thank you and bless you for.
Well, join us anytime because
Thank you.
she is a cheerleader, you know?
Thank you.
Ruthie, are you still
enjoy this, so.
practicing?
Oh, yes, I am. I've got a huge full practice. Yes. And with COVID, it's just like, oh my God. It's just, I have so, and because I went a route of becoming a body-centered psychotherapist, and I do a lot of, nature work, art therapy, very, very diverse in what I'm doing. So I can practice internationally. And so really my clients are all over international right now. And since Zoom, since, COVID, it's just, I'm
Right.
so busy.
Right. I'm a psychotherapist.
I know, you
Yeah.
said that last time.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I retired though to write, but a friend of mine, she's much younger than I, and the facility shut down. It was a residential treatment center for adolescents
Yeah.
who have real difficult behavioral problems, psychological problems. Anyway, they shut it down because they didn't know what to do during the COVID, right?
Right.
So anyway, it shut the whole facility down. So everybody had to look for a job. So this friend of mine, who is a psychotherapist, she has a contract doing therapy overseas. She likes overseas people better. So it's online.
Yeah,
over
it's online, right?
And she loves it. She loves it.
Yeah.
And she says
I've
she
been
likes-
able, it's sad for me because being body centered, I use the body, I use creativity, I use nature, but I have been seeing people that are local. I've been seeing them in my backyard because I have a little pond back there and all that. I can do some of that stuff there, but mostly everything, 85% of my clients are on Zoom, and they can be from all over, so anyway, yeah, and we can have hot dogs or we can have Age of Innocence. We could have either one or the other.
Wow, that's cool.
So ladies, I know we're getting close to our hour, but there's a Yeats poem called When You Were Old.
Oh.
And since I don't have any quotes from Poms, I thought I'd read this.
There was no rabbit hole for you to go down there.
No. So W.B. Yeats, When You Are Old. When you are old and gray and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read and dream of the soft look your eyes had once and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace and loved your beauty with love false or true. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead and hid his face amid a crowd of stars.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. And we needed something to bring us back to reality because we kind of went down that comedy rabbit hole. But anybody that's listening on Facebook, this is typical. This is not atypical of our Book and Film Club. We discuss the movie and we share each other's lives. So we hope that everybody who hears this will join us. Will feel free to dress up if they want to. And have we decided our film for next week?
I believe
No.
it's Trees.
Huh?
What is that?
Trees, the film Trees.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Oh my gosh, I discovered this film by accident. You know how sometimes you watch a film and it recommends other films?
Yeah.
And this is a story about a woman who's of age who decides to go back home because she feels driven to go back to where she grew up. And she makes this road trip, and it is one of those movies that kind of ties in with the theme of Poms because she's of age and she's seeing her own, future, and she's longing to see her childhood friend. So she goes back to see her childhood friend where she grew up, and she's up in like one of the northern Midwestern states like Iowa or one of those. and she ends up going into Canada. It's a long trip, but it's a very quiet, independent film. You won't hear about it anywhere else than from me. I imagine that film came out and maybe played at a few film festivals, but nobody knows about it. The woman who plays I need to I'll have you research it because I bet I don't know if she's ever done a movie before. The woman they cast.
Let me read something to you. A young girl, this is about the movie. A young girl believes her dead father talks to her through a giant fig tree and won't allow it to be chopped down. Is that the one?
Yes, that's covered in it too. Yes. It's about a tree. And it's about a tree that her and her best friend had a tree house in. And growing up, I lived in my tree house. So
I had a tree house too.
Oh my gosh. I had tree houses, forts, you name it. I was outside girl. And but I watched this film and it was like, did you ever see The Lawnmower Man?
Yes.
Yes.
That was a fabulous film. And the actor was in it, I think he recently passed away, but he wants to go see his brother, and it's kind of the same kind of story, but they took away his driver's license. So he drives a tractor, like a lawnmower tractor, to go see him. Is that the one you saw?
I think Lawnmower Man is a different. Robert, are you thinking of the movie Lawnmower Man that I'm thinking of where?
Let me do a quick search.
You do it because
know,
I'm looking and I don't
seen
see
the
it.
one. I've seen the one that Kathy's talking about too, about the old man who drives his tractor. It's based on a true story.
Yeah, it's a true story, but maybe that's not what it's called. It's been a
A
long time.
monster killer tree begins sapping the life out of the hikers. I don't think.
No, that's not it.
So there is one film, The Lawnmower Man, which is a 1992 science fiction thriller horror film.
No, that's
Yes,
not
that's-
it. The movie I watched, I cannot think. Oh, I can just see his face so perfectly. And you've seen that one too, Debbie. Do you remember?
Yes, and I've seen that one too. And that one's called The Straight Story.
The Straight Story. Oh my gosh. That would be really great is if we could watch both, because one's from a male perspective and one's from a female perspective. But
I can't find it, you guys.
What is that? The straight what?
The Straight
Story.
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 The Straight Story. And what's the actor who plays in it? He's fabulous.
Richard Farnsworth.
Yes.
Oh, I saw. Oh, but was that called The Straight Story? I saw it. He was wonderful.
Yeah.
He was also in that train robbery one. He was a wonderful. Is he still alive?
I don't think so. But
I
that
love
is
him.
it's a great movie. And
I don't know how to break it to you guys.
No,
but
he's
I'm
been
not gonna
dead.
be.
He died in 2000.
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
this
him.
was 1999 movie, so I guess he died the year after.
I'm sorry to tell you that I will not be with you next week because
Okay.
I am doing a workshop, an in-person workshop driving in Wisconsin. And it's
Okay.
my first in-person workshops for a long, long time. So I'll be not in town.
Okay.
So I'll miss it, but I was just looking and I couldn't find anything called Trees.
I watched it on Netflix, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And if it's not on Netflix, it's on Amazon Prime. But
So can I just ask that at some time put on the list that Angelo, my love? That would
I'm
be
going
such an
to.
interesting.
I'm going to go watch that tonight, but I've got another film to watch that was recommended to me by one of my authors called The Lion. Have you heard of it? It's an Indian film, and I'd never heard of it. Well, I know there's a Shah Rukh Khan film coming out where he plays the lion. That's his character. But he said, you've got to watch this film. It's incredible. It's probably on Netflix or Amazon, but it's called The Lion. So I have the feeling tonight is going to be movie night for me. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Debbie, for joining us. Please come back. Sounds like you're a big film buff.
I actually reviewed movies for 10 years for a paper here in St. Louis and
Oh my God, we've got to have you on board.
a podcast for Gazelle Magazine for the entire COVID year, doing top 10 suggestions for people who couldn't go out because of COVID.
Oh,
I
fascinating.
love movies. I love talking about them. So I'll definitely come back. This has been so fun for me.
Well, it's the same. We're using the same link now every time for our online book club on Tuesday nights and our Saturday night film club. I haven't figured out how to do that with our writers club because we meet the second Saturday of every month and they didn't give me that option when I was trying to set up a, like one link. And it's like, because some months have 4 weeks. I don't know. I need some tech help on that. But anyway, we will watch Trees. And if you get a chance, watch The Straight Story too.
I love that. That was great.
Such a great movie.
And then we'll have it up on our Kathy L. Murphy channel so you can watch it later, Ruthie. Have fun in Wisconsin. And we'll see our Kitty Carlisle back when we watch.
You will. You will.
We're watching After Trees, Robert. You've got the list.
So, so Paul Lynde will miss his Kitty Carlisle.
Oh, Paul Lynde.
Center
Oh, that's
Square.
Paul Lynde. I love Paul Lynde. He was the best.
Right.
Really great.
So what is the one for the one after Trees? Because I'll be back then.
Okay.
So next week it's the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trees.
Okay.
Or is it The Tree? I was having trouble Googling it too. We'll confirm.
Okay. Well, he always gives me a graphic, so we'll have a graphic of it. And
Oh, yeah, the tree. It's the
The tree.
Yeah, The Tree. So
The
the
Tree.
The Tree. So after that, we'll be watching Dean Stanley, which I've never seen. And then, of course, the week after Dean Stanley is a favorite of mine, favorite novel, favorite film, To Kill a Mockingbird.
that's my
Oh,
absolute
good.
favorite. That's my absolute favorite. And I cannot wait. I haven't watched it this year, and I watch it every year and read the book every year. I am pumped.
So it's Dean Stanley and then To Kill a Mockingbird, right? Okay.
Dean Stanley, what was that about? I forgot. Did we? You
I
watch?
do not know. I think that is your film pick, and I've never
Oh.
seen it.
I've never seen it either. I don't think.
Doesn't exist. Exactly.
How do we get that film?
Debbie, do you know about that movie?
I
No.
have to go back and check. I'm gonna have to go back and check.
They will check. I mean, well, you could.
Dean Stanley movie, 2008 film, and then it says Dean Spanley.
I mean, it might be that Kathy, if you're not familiar with it, then we might just want to we can come up with a surprise film selection.
Oh, it's with Peter O'Toole. Is that right? So it's Dean Spanley, as in spandex.
Spanley.
Spanley, and it got pretty high on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a fabulous cast.
Yeah, there we go.
It has Sam Neill, Peter O'Toole. Jerry
No,
Ortha.
I did pick it. I remember it now. This is the craziest film you'll ever see. And it came to me by another recommendation from an author, and I'd never heard of it either. And I love to watch films that I've never seen before and never even heard of. And then I watch it. This is, I think,
It's a wonderful cast,
Wandra, you and Debbie are going to really understand it, really get into this thing, because it's all about philosophies of life. And I can't.
Reincarnation too. It's about
Yes,
reincarnation.
Well, it's the craziest film I've ever seen.
Okay, so it's SP.
Yes,
Yes.
Spanley, like in spandex.
Dean, like in the dean of a school. Dean,
Yeah.
Dean
Okay.
Spanley.
because he's a college professor. Dean Spanley.
There's no way I'm not watching a movie that is the craziest movie Kathy has ever seen.
It is. I'm going to tell you, this is one of the. It's like, have you ever seen the Family Fang?
No.
That was based on a novel.
I made that a book club selection, and then Nicole Kidman starred in it with, I think it was Ian McGregor, into a movie. And
Yes.
that's the other odd one that I've seen. It was just, but I just love
Yes.
quirky stuff.
Me too. But look it's got it's got Art Malik in it. You know, he plays the Swami. So I think this looks really good. It got pretty darn good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It did.
It's excellent, and Sam Neill is priceless.
I love
His
him.
role is, he's so believable, and there's a lot of drinking in it. Bizarre, and drinking a weird liquor, real obscure liquor. I don't know. It's a British film, isn't it British? And
Yeah, it were Australian, or it was one of those things.
it's really
Yeah.
one of those that you know, you can't get it off your mind but I've forgotten what the name of the movie was. But when you said Sam Neill, it brought it all back. Sam Neill is fantastic.
He's the dean. He's the dean.
He's the dean.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen it either, Debbie?
No,
I haven't seen it.
I fell in love with Sam Neill in The Hunt for Red October, and I love him so much. I'm gonna go. I think I might go watch it tonight.
Go watch it.
There's
This sounds interesting.
It is very
because you've got Peter O'Toole.
yes.
You've got Brian Brown, who is a wonderful British
Another Australian.
Australian guy. Yep.
Yeah, he's great. He was
And then you've got Jeremy
he was in the
Northam.
Thornbirds. He was in the Thornbirds. He's married to the actress who was the star of the Thornbirds.
Huh.
Macaulay book. But he's great in it. And it's just
This one looks like fun.
all male movie. I don't even think there's a
Yeah,
woman.
it doesn't.
Yes, there is. There's
Judy
Judy
Parfitt.
Parfitt. Judy
Right.
Parfitt. And you've
That's
seen
wonderful.
her in a lot of stuff too. Yeah.
Well,
That's
you'll
okay.
you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. So okay, everybody.
Okay, so it's not a hot dog, and
No.
it's not a 5-star restaurant. It is some more exotic meal.
It's in it. It's in a restaurant all its own. So
Hey,
it's a dining experience. That's, you know, the Swami. Oh my
all
God.
right, this is really itching. Sorry, you guys, but I gotta take
Okay,
it.
it's gotta go. Well, everybody have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time. I'll have this interview, which may be a classic someday. It's going to be up on our YouTube channel later tonight, and then for sure by tomorrow morning. So thank you for dressing up. And as I can say, go book and film. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bobby.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for
It was fun.
coming, Wandra. Bye, everybody.